Summer is here at Universal Orlando, and it is one of the busiest times of the year that you could possibly visit. High wait times, lots of crowds, and hot weather. But if you want the park to yourself like this, then keep watching this video because I'm gonna show you how to beat those summer crowds. Let's go. First and foremost, early park admission is an absolute must. And here at Islands of Adventure, this is the way to cut through so you can go right to Hogsmeade or the Velocicoaster. They'll push you this way anyway during these busy, crowded times of the year. Doing early park admission is essential. And if you don't know what that is, if you stay at a Universal Orlando hotel or with select ticket types, you get 1 hour early entry into Islands of Adventure or Epic Universe, and especially for Epic, and especially for here too. It's really, really, really important to take advantage of that. It is an early wake up, especially here in Islands of Adventure. However, it is 100% worth it. But not only is that 1 hour good enough, you have to get to the park and stand outside as early as you possibly can. So the buses from the Universal Hotel start running an hour before early park admission begins, and City Walk opens an hour before early park admission begins. So if you're walking or taking the bus, make sure you're on that first bus. Make sure you're here when City Walk opens. During the busy times of the year, you're gonna wanna get here right away, as soon as you possibly can. That way you can be one of the first people in line and head right to Hagrid's or Velocicoaster if that's your thing. But I always recommend Hagrid's first. Especially now that Hagrid's is no longer included in the Universal Express Pass, it's even more important to use early park admission for the shortest possible wait time at Hagrid's. Right now, it's 180 minutes at 10:30 in the morning. So you're gonna wanna skip that, do early park admission, come here first. Now, what do you do if Hagrid's is delayed? Because that is a possibility. You could get here during early park admission and Hagrid's isn't running, which honestly happens quite a bit. So what do you do if Hagrid's is delayed? You need to have a backup plan, which will help you immensely. If you get here and it's delayed, honestly, I would pivot, because by the time it reopens, I saw it happen yesterday. Hagrid's was delayed in the morning, it reopened, and then it was at a 210-minute wait. Yeah, so at that point, what I would do is either, personally, I would go to the Velocicoaster, or you can ride the other rides in Hogsmeade, of course, and then come back at night and ride Hagrid's later in the day. Usually around dinner time, the wait times do drop for Hagrid's, which is a nice little hack. I'm not guaranteed, still might be waiting a while, but you could try. That brings me to my next point. If you want to explore an empty Hogsmeade, you gotta do it during early park admission. If you have multiple days at Islands of Adventure, I would recommend doing early park admission one day for the rides and the other day for just exploring, taking pictures, and maybe even casting spells, because I've seen the spell lines get super long here too. So when's the best time to do it? Early park admission. Right after early park admission ends, the wait times will go up for all of the rides here because most people are going to start here first. So if you can get Hogsmeade done before everyone else, that's the best way to do it. It's always also smart too to have a park plan and a strategy. I have a video on my Islands of Adventure 1 day park plan. I would recommend checking that out because I'll highlight the best ideal park day for you. Another ride that's great to do during early park admission is Flight of the Hippogriff, because after early park admission, the wait time gets crazy. And it's a really short ride, so if you could bang this out during early park admission, that would be ideal. Another great time to ride it is at night, like right before the park closes. But keep in mind that at night in the summer, Hogwarts always happens on Hogwarts Castle, so that can get this area congested a little bit as the show happens every 15 minutes. People will be congregating right over here to watch Hogwarts always. One of the best ways to beat the crowds is to go on the paths that are the least traveled. And right here in Toon Lagoon, I have a little shortcut for you. Once you come over the bridge, over Dolly George Ripsaw Falls, instead of going all the way around, and this is Popeyes up here, and go around Toon Lagoon, here's what you can do. You can walk right this way, and it's actually like you're headed towards the Ripsaw Falls attraction. You get a really good view of Ripsaw Falls right here, but then once you get to the attraction entrance, instead of going on and getting soaked, you're gonna make a left right here, and this is actually gonna be where the lockers are for Ripsaw Falls, but it is a little shortcut too. say hello to these guys, and look where you are, right at the end of Toon Lagoon, really. Just a nice little shortcut if you want to avoid the crowds over here. And of course, if you're coming from Marvel, you could do the same thing this way, which is even less traveled. Another way to avoid the crowds here in the port of entry, and actually at the end of any Universal park, there's always a gift shop you can cut through. And this is great too, especially on hot days. Right now, everyone's walking in. We're gonna walk out. It's gonna be crowded. It's gonna be hard to walk through. So go through the gift shop. You get air conditioning, and it's usually a little less crowded. But heavy emphasis on the air conditioning, important in the summer. And we're at the end of the store. We got some great air conditioning, and look where we will end up. Right by the front gate. Just walked out of Islands of Adventure, and after you spend your morning here, what I love to do to beat the crowds a little bit, because this park does get very, very, very crowded. It is the most popular because of all the great rides that are here. But once you're done, now that you did early park admission and you did all of the big rides, I like to walk over to Universal Studios Florida, especially because during the summer they have some nighttime entertainment, but also too, it's going to be the less crowded park. It's more spread out. It's easier to manage and deal with the crowds over there, which could be why it is my favorite park. But I just really enjoy the atmosphere over there. So I always recommend hitting Islands early in the morning, getting that done. Then once the crowds really start picking up in Islands, yeah, head over to Universal Studios Florida. If you're spending a few days here, it's great to stop in and eat lunch at a spot in City Walk. It's a great way to cool off and recharge. I love Twosome Chocolate Emporium, especially if you're doing Islands in the morning, Universal in the afternoon. This is a perfect, literally in between spot. Here in the Hard Rock gift shop, they are so up to date on their merch that they even included the construction walls right outside of the cafe in their new shirt. Hello. Thank you. USF, we're back. Now that we're over here in Universal Studios Florida, I want to remind you, when you are dealing with summer and crowds, you want to be sure you know the park hours. Some days this park will open at 10 a.m., other days it'll open at 9, other days it'll open at 8. During Halloween Horror Nights, this park will open earlier because it will close earlier to the general public for Halloween Horror Night. Now, especially on those days when this park opens early, you're gonna wanna get here for when it opens, because that's gonna be the lowest crowds. Personally, what I like to do when I come here in the morning, first, if you've never ridden Gringotts and visited Diagon Alley, that's what you have to do first. But if you're visiting with kids, I would recommend to hit DreamWorks Land right in the morning. The characters start meeting very early in the morning too, and this will be the absolute lowest crowds for DreamWorks Land is right early in the morning. Also too, later in the day, not only will it get very, very crowded, but also it would be really, really hot in there, and there is no really where to cool down besides going under the water features. There's no inside. There is an indoor show, which is great, but other than that, there's not like a store you can pop in for AC, and it is very sunny over there. So that's why DreamWorks in the morning is the way to do it. In terms of Gringotts too, the wait time will typically drop at night, especially if Cine Stational and the parade is happening. So if you don't get to ride it in the morning, you're over in Islands of Adventure or whatever the reason might be, you might get lucky if you wait until the end of the night. You might get a 20-minute wait for Gringotts, which would be amazing. Look who it is. Good morning. Another way to beat the crowds is to look for hidden places around the park. Now, I have a full video pointing out all of the great hidden spots around Universal Orlando. I'll link that in the description as well. But one of my favorites right here is this walkway by Diagon Alley. Everyone is gonna go see where Diagon Alley is. It is so crowded over there. If I'm not going to Diagon Alley, but I still wanna make it back towards Men in Black, I'll use this low road, and it's nice out. That's also my shortcut to my potato hut stand over there. And then also too, right over here, this is kind of to the left of the San Francisco Pastry Company. There's just a whole, I'll show you. There's this whole area up here that there's tables right here. It's behind Lombard's too, so you can't really sit there because that's Lombard's, but there's a few open tables over here, and then there's this whole dock area that, even though it doesn't have seats, it's still a nice place if you just want to take a break from the crowds and breathe a little bit. You can walk back here and take in all of the views. and there is a bench, but there's literally nobody here, so nice way to escape the crowds. You know what's funny too? I've always seen this Amity Island Lobster Co., but I've never seen this. You notice something new every time you're here. Another thing you want to do to beat the summer crowds is to consider your express pass options. First, I want to mention a new option that may or may not be available during your visit, but I'm going to mention it just so you keep your eye out if it is here. It is the Universal Express Now. And I'm looking at it right now here in Universal Studios Florida. The Mummy is a 35-minute wait, and you can ride it from 12:45 to 1:45 for $20 per person using the Express queue. Or Transformers, which is still also a 35-minute wait, from 12:45 to 1:45 for $15 each. Now, you might realize this is pretty similar to the Lightning Lane experience over in Disney, and that's pretty much what it is. You'll buy this Express Now pass, and then it'll tell you you could ride the ride through the Express queue at a certain time. This might be an option you want to consider if there's one ride you really want to ride and the line is too long and you want to get it done. You might want to pull the trigger and say, all right, $20 for the Mummy per person, let's just do it. Another option to consider for the Express Pass, if you don't want to just buy it outright, is to stay at the Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, or Portofino Bay. You get the Express included in your stay, even on check-in and check-out days. What a lot of people will do is they'll book a room at Surfside or Dockside or a less expensive hotel, and then just spend one night at the end or the beginning of their trip, or even in the middle of their trip if they want to hotel hop a lot, at one of these hotels, so you get the Express Pass for 2 days. This is probably the most cost-effective option. Another great little hidden area, I don't know how long it's gonna last for because I'll show you why. So right over here by the construction of Fast and Furious. Now this is back here is team members only, but on the step right here, it's just like a nice hidden, relaxed area, and it's under shade. And currently, you know, it was a great spot before, but currently it might be even better because you get to see the construction of Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, and they are really working on it. One thing you can always count on all times of year is a Minion Cafe. It's usually not too crowded. It does get very crowded during lunchtime, and that's another good point to avoid crowds. You want to eat at off-peak times. If you're eating during peak lunchtime, like 12 o'clock, it's going to be really crowded. But if you eat a little earlier, most of the quick service places open at 11, or if you eat like after 2, they'll be empty, which is great. And Minion Cafe especially has amazing air conditioning, great for summer, and of course, Mr. Pibb. So good. What's really great about Universal Studios Florida in the summer is that they have nighttime entertainment. They have a really fun mega movie parade that happens nightly through the streets of Universal Studios Florida. And a little tip that I would like to share for this is my favorite spot to watch it, which is Hollywood Boulevard right here. Usually it is less crowded because there is definitely more space to watch it over here. The streets are bigger, they're wider, there's more room. Also, if you're an annual pass holder, they have the designated viewing area for you. And there's also a nighttime show called Cinesational. Now for this, if you don't like crowds and you want to avoid the crowds, you don't mind missing the lagoon projections, you can see the drones, which are honestly, in my opinion, the coolest part, from Minion Land right over here. They'll be right over your head, right over the Wicked store, and it's cool to see honestly from anywhere in the park. You don't have to necessarily stand in the Central Park area where everyone is and it's going to be super crowded. And last but not least, the best way to beat the crowds is to stay at a Universal Orlando hotel. Not only do you get that early park admission perk that we talked about first in this video, but just the ease and convenience of being able to go back and forth to your hotel. Everything is close. There's free, quick transportation. There's merchandise delivery. If you buy something in the park, they'll deliver to your hotel. There's great food options in the resorts as well, which is another perk that is kind of underrated. The fact that these hotels have great dining options and restaurants. So if City Walk is really crowded, which usually it is at night for dinner, if you want to come over and go to Islands Dining Room in Royal Pacific or Strongwater Tavern here in Sapphire Falls, those are great lesser known options that are even better food and less crowded. Another great way to beat those crowds. No matter what, you're gonna have a great time here at Universal Orlando. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to Krystal Palace, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.